Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, this is the show called Game Changer. It's a new show that I have out. Basically, I'm in your safe. Yes, you send me your safe. We have a special system set up for all the patrons. There's actually a nice little link that you can use for all the first teamers. All you gotta do is just dump your saves into that link and it'll come straight to me. It's as easy as that. So if you want me to take a look at your save and come up with ideas where you could tweak something here, tweak something there. Is there something that you may have missed out? And this is a chance for me to actually take a look at the game. And I will do everything. I'll try. I won't redo your whole game and send it back to you, but I'll give you some ideas. Most importantly, I focus on a bad run results. Look at your tactic. Then I also look at how you may want to do your youth development, because it actually plays to make a super system. I've talked about this on my other shows. Is if you want to build a super system up, you got to put all the pieces together. So there has to be a flow from your youth to your reserves right up to your senior squad. So there's a lot of things that you need to get done right, and the getting it done is actually quite easy. It's quite simple. And it's not very hard because it's very logical, and we're gonna do that. Finally, we're also gonna take a look at small little things like views and how we can enhance them. What kind of views would I use in your game? So, without too much delay, let's get started. I was about to say without much ado, and that didn't even come on, right? Okay. All right. So let's take a look at your squad now. The tech squad, I have a view that I like to use called match day stats, right? So essentially, one of the things I do in my view is to make sure that when I want to look at my club, I have a DNA profile. Most of you probably will know that. What the typical qualities of my squad. But this is actually the most important view for me in the game. It actually allows me to track my team over time. So I have everything on one screen. So I will know how many appearances they made, how many minutes per game they play. Because for youth development, if you follow my youth development series, I have a 12-step guide towards youth development. And one of the things I tell people to do is make sure that they play a certain specified number of games a season. And if you can't, there are certain minutes you want to hit. So there are minutes I track this. Then I look at, for strikers, like shots on target per 90, goals per 90 minutes. The assist acceleration is here because I like to know how we stack up over time. Aerial attempts per 90 with headers won per 90. This is important for me because how many times did he attempt an aerial challenge? Okay, so it's like 7.89 times. Then he's only won 5.26. That's not too bad. But look at this guy, Lorenzo Cunha. He's pretty awesome. No, he almost wins most of the aerial challenges that he does. And the key headers are 59, which is pretty cool. Then we go down the track and we look for other players. Now we know that your strikers, they try to win aerial balls, but they hardly ever win any headers. So this tells me that your tactic will have to be set up in such a way that we want to hit teams fast, right? We don't want to build play up and then try and lob crosses in, because crosses may not even work with this team. So this tells me what their relationship is here. Then you got key headers, then cross completion attempts. This is also important if I want to have a crossing game. If I intentionally build a crossing game, right, with wing backs attacking, which is kind of cool because that's the way tactics should be set up. Then we want to know their cross completed attempts in a game and how many crosses they complete. So this is the cross completion ratio. Okay, so this is pretty good. The higher the number, the better it is. And then we've got the tackles completion ratio, then the dribbles per game. Now, dribbling per game, why do I have that? Now, overloading requires at least in certain areas of the pitch where you want to overload, you need somebody there who can actually hold up the ball. And sometimes they are required to dribbles a bit. Overall number of key passes made, passes attempt for 90 minutes, pass completion percentage. Now, if I see that here we've got very low numbers for the defenders, which is kind of strange for me. It almost suggests that the defenders are always clearing the ball instead of passing the ball. We want to find out why this is so low. And then this is how many mistakes that led to a goal over the season. So you notice that your team is pretty solid. Last 5 games and average rating. Now people have asked me this many times. Last 5 games average rating is very easy. Players on a streak, if they've been playing a lot of games, then this number last 5 games will be higher than this number. Tells me they're on a streak. So this is really simple. General unhappiness, I like to keep this because man management is actually kind of important in this game. I won't say it's very, very important, but going forward, I expect it to, it's one of those things in the game that has a small knock-on effect on the day before the game. So you want to be tracking your players to see if there's any serious problems somewhere in the team. Finally, I've got squad status. Now, why do I have squad status up? If you're into the whole development cycle, you need to know if you are overlooking a player, because occasionally I make this mistake. I used to, I play games and I rotate my boys, I bring my youngsters in. I keep forgetting that I'm doing this to a key player. So I'm taking a key player out from some of these games. The key players get very upset. And then to make things worse, I don't know that the contract is, I forget that their contract's expiring. It almost happened to me in my GCFC save last season where Zé Gomez was on the verge of leaving for PSG because of all this stuff that I'm doing. So this is something else you want to track as well, especially if these are important players in your team. You want to be looking at securing their contracts long before, like at least with a year, minimum 2 years left on their contract, or 1.5 years left on their contract. There's a reason why you want to keep their contracts going up. You want to raise their inherent value too. Okay, so this is the major view that I have, and if you need this view, just let me know, and I'll try and make it available on the Steam Workshop. I don't think this particular view is on the Steam Workshop. I have another one, but this is something that I use a lot. Okay, so we've done this. Now, what else do we want to do? Okay, we're going to look at training. So I noticed that I did look at your game and something stood out like a sore thumb. You are vicious at training. Dear Lord, what have you done? What did they do to you? They've been put on fitness very high for the whole season. Yes, so you're giving them rest day before match, rest day after match. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because the poor lads, they're like, you want to give them some time, they're kids. Give them some time to go and have ice cream, sit down, have some, strawberry milkshake, whatever, take some time out, go dating or some shit like that. But these guys, you're going to break their legs. No. You do not want to do that. So drop it down. Heavy is fine, but another thing, why are they on fitness for such a long time? Now, okay, I know that I've written about fitness being very good for youth development. Yes, I do agree fitness is good. However, their quickness and all their physical attributes do improve over time too. Whenever you're talking about training players, you want to make sure that first up, they're given the right role, right? They're trained in the right role. Secondly, you want to make sure that they have they're trained in the right role and they have time. They rest. You give them enough time to rest. Okay. So one thing I would do is I would definitely remove the intensity of their training program. That's the first thing we do. The second thing we do, make sure that you're tutoring them. If they are 16, 17 years old, even before they hit 18, this is really important. 16, tutor them, change their personality. The moment they sign a contract with you, you get their personalities changed. All these terrible personalities, casual, Nasser Kabla, who's actually got like decent star rating, he's got to be tutored immediately. Don't waste any time. Like if I can find him now and I go training, tutoring, you go to this screen and then you see he's got even driven, I'll accept. So you've got a few players here with driven personalities. That's not too bad. So just get them to train them off the pitch. At least get their personalities changed, because casual, no, it won't do. It definitely won't do. So you want to make sure that you get rid of what's this guy? He's got low self-belief. Help him. Even if you think that you're not sure if they're going to be staying in your club, get them tutored. It's especially important, or else you're going to waste their development potential, right? So the first thing you do, tutor. Now, days off. People ask me this question. It's better to have rest day after match, not before, because it eats into match prep. Then you can always drop this to like average, and yeah, balance is fine, right? Unless you can do that focus development that I normally do. I have this focus development model. I just noticed one thing about your training is do not do this. I got lost. Sorry. Wait, hold a minute. Hold the horses. I got lost. Match tactics does nothing. Zero. Nada. Complete jack for their development potential. Do not do this. I mean, unless you're talking about getting them familiar with the tactic, right? But no. What you do is worry about things like attacking, movement, defensive set pieces, attacking. Do one of those. Even rotate it among 4 games. Why? Because these give you short-term boost ahead of the next game. So let's just I don't know who this team is, but yeah, this should be fine. Now if you're a club like a up and coming club or even in championship, and you want to develop your side and you want to make them really solid over time, this is what you do. Find a tactic that works for your youth team. That's very important, because then you can put the youth team is working on the same tactic that you want for your senior team, right? So your senior team is using that tactic. Okay, so find a tactic that allows you to optimize the development of your youth. Okay, let's look at this tactic. It's not too bad. We know that in the long term, I want wingbacks. Wingbacks can turn into midfielders, and that's cool. Strikers too, very nice. We can develop 2 strikers in the game. That's cool. We can develop DMs in the game. That's cool. We can develop central midfielders in the game. Cool. This is not bad. Would I use this tactic? No, maybe. It's okay. It's about the same, but no variety. There's one other tactic. Another good tactic is this one, the 4-1-2-3. You've got this sorted out. But for my youth team, maybe I want to give them. There's one role that you're missing in this whole thing. But the one tactic I love for youth development saves is this. Yes, the diamond is a fantastic youth development. If you're into this developing, bringing boys into the team and making sure that they get to the top and you can sell them, you have plenty of options, the diamond is the best. Why? Because the diamond allows you to develop the most effectively. You're going to have your AMCs, you're going to have your strikers, sometimes you can have all 3. Then you're going to have central midfielders, you can have shuttling midfielders, which you will develop over time, like CM supports. You can have attacking midfielders. Then you can also have defensive playmakers, defensive midfielders. Finally, you can have wingbacks who can double up as wide midfielders. That's not too bad. And yeah, voila, you've got it. You've got a fantastic youth development save. It is by far, for me, the best system I've ever used for youth development saves. The 4-4-2 diamond, another variant of this would be the 4-1-3-2 or the 4-3-1-2. Any system that allows you to create these little, I don't know what shape this is, rhombus, okay, like diamond. If you can get little diamonds on the pitch, brilliant. So this is what you want to do. You want to have that use save. You want to have the tactic for your use save. You got to try and improve the financials of your team without, you see, the thing is, you can't really go out there and spend a lot of money. So what you need to do is you need to develop your youth. So a lot of these under 19s, if you can play them in your team. So all these boys who are 19 and have good potential, if they are not playing in your first team, the moment they're 18, this whole group has got to either be playing for you or they could be out on loan. I like a diamond because there's so many ways you can attack with a diamond in the game, and it's also a very safe. It's kind of a safe tactic. You can definitely defend deep with this tactic, and it all depends on the kind of players that you have. So the next thing we're going to do is find out whether your team can play the diamond. Next step, we analyze the team. I do use recommendations from the coaches as far as PA, CA, and role abilities are concerned, only because sometimes I get them to make decisions because I really want to play the game quickly. I don't spend all day doing it. Now, I like to find out how far the coaches are from my assessment. So I have this for my support duties because for me that's the most important facet of the whole game. I make sure that I've got enough attributes here to give me an idea of how the support players do in terms of defending and in terms of attacking, so I can find out if they are the sort that can do the job well. Now, I'm looking here at certain things like for the defenders, I want to make sure that they have good positioning, concentration, solid mentals. So here we've got the recommendations aren't too bad because the 2 recommendations that the Assman came up with, both of them have got solid mentals here. That's pretty superb. Then The one of them has got fantastic jumping. Then I'm looking down the track. I find another guy with good jumping and decent positioning and decent concentration. He's not too bad. However, here we see they think that he's not very good at his. No, he's not fantastic. I can see why, because his acceleration is low. His passing is not very effective. We don't really care about first touch at the moment. He's off the ball, not important at 6, but his positioning is average, not too bad at 14. He reminds me of Stephen Hartbury. I had this fantastic defender that I built an entire team around just so that we can get promoted from the championship to the premiership. And he had 18 or 17 for jumping and 18 for heading. That's the only thing he could do. He could only jump and hit. So we built the entire defense around a man who could jump and hit and was slow. So we had this whole defense. It worked brilliantly because Stephen Hartbury cleared every single danger that was thrown into the box. Okay, so we know that we have certain options here. Mohamed Sane, he's 31 years old, not too bad. Okay, we can see why he is a bit. He has agility. He probably get beaten by some of the defenders, but still not that bad. So we've got like a few defenders. Your defenders, as far as I can tell, S-Man, well, he's not too far off the mark. Okay, so they're decent in terms of acceleration. All right, what about your fullbacks? Now your fullbacks, once again, positioning is good for defensive work, but now we need to know whether they have acceleration and whether they can tackle. Okay, so this is the first three things we want to see. So in terms of positioning, your fullbacks are also not half bad. Concentration, not half bad. Then we look at acceleration. Where is acceleration? It should be here, 15. Ooh, they're fast. Okay, well, now we look at small little things, right? Let's see, they're crossing. Okay, 9. Not so fantastic, eh? Okay, decisions are not too bad. So you've got, okay, hey, we can build something from this group. So I am definitely thinking the backline is pretty okay, solid. Okay, fine. What about your DMs? We got Mehdi Russo. Okay, so average. What about other DMs? You got somebody you want to put on loan. Okay, he can be played in that position. Then we look at other defense. We go through this list like that, right? And then I'll find players within your team that I could use. You got some solid players here who can play in that position. So you definitely have the makings of a solid base for your 4-4-2 diamond. All right, what about your attacking midfielders? Do you have anybody who can play and unlock teams? Well, we got, okay, passing is 13 decisions. We are looking for a player who's got passing, vision, decisions off the ball. Right, so we just want somebody who has those qualities and we can put him into our team. Wow, we got a Singaporean. Well, I'm sorry, I'm using him. I don't care if he's good or not good. He's hometown boy from Singapore. We're playing him in this. We're playing him for every single match. He's playing for us as that player. Cool. That's decided. Who gives a shit about whether he can play or not? Okay, so look, you've got the players. So you definitely have the players for a very solid 4-4-2 diamond. In fact, it's going to be a very good 4-4-2 diamond. Yep. Okay. So we've got the players. We've got all the players, and the Assman's recommendations. Oh, I see the Assman's recommendations aren't very good. He hasn't gone for the same, what was in my head and what is in his head aren't very close. So tell his ass, so when you do this, we will cover this a bit more in detail in another show, but basically, with this 4-4-2 diamond, we want this player to be solid, hardworking. He has to be able to clear the ball, see the danger. He needs good concentration. He doesn't require fantastic off the ball, but he definitely has to be brave enough to go in for the tackle, and he must have good determination. These two players, same qualities as this guy, except this player over here, we want him to have good off the ball. Why? I made him into a very unique shuttler. This is a very unique role in the game that I have created. It's like a shuttler, except that he can roam. So we want him to have a bigger zone so that he plays a bigger part in transitions over here involving both our wing backs. So we've got one wing back we're gonna launch on a complete wing back, give him a bit of a roam and let him go and bang some goals down the flank. It's going to be very attacking. So we can either play them as wing backs on attack or complete wing backs on attack. But we'll be going through the tactic very soon. Then we've got ball winning midfield on support here. I definitely know your players can do this. More direct, move into channels, close down, much more dribble less. Yes, this is actually my own 4-4-2 tactic. I call this the 4-4-2 Diamondback. I love this tactic. Now, the roles up top, honestly, it's really a function of whether they can pull this role off. Now, the complete forward is one of the roles in the game that demands that a player have a certain amount of current ability to pull it off. So here, the guy's current ability is fairly good. Whether he can he pull this role off, it depends on the general attributes of a complete forward. So how do we know? Okay, so highlight key attributes for the role. We are now going to go to the complete forward. So here we have a complete forward. We want him to be on attack. So how does he do as a complete forward? Basically, he does okay, right? He's got big, not too bad attributes that hit all the marks. Composure is there, concentration, decisions, determination. Off the ball is good, teamwork is there, vision, work rate, technique. He needs to be able to dribble, finish, first touch. This one, jumping reach and heading, not so good. Now, if you had a player who had good jumping reach and heading, this role is going to be like a target man, especially when you camp. He's going to be one of the dangerous players in the box. He's going to hit down the ball for this guy to score. We won't even be playing we won't be setting up the tactic with target man in place, but it'll be like another version of the tactic. So when you play through balls, he can hit it off. He can hit it on for either this player to attack or this player to attack. Just because he's playing on complete forward attack does not necessarily mean that he's going to drop deep. But remember this role has got hold up ball, more risky passes on it. It's a fairly aggressive role, but we think that it's possible with the team. If you don't think it's possible, then you can always go for something simpler, but we want something that's roaming. I want to create a bit more of variety in the attack with this tactic. So yes, these are some of the tactics we can use for the game. All right, now the last part of the show. What went wrong in your games? Okay, I looked across a few games, and something I noticed: whenever you play a 4-4-2 DM narrow, okay, some of the shapes that you play are on fluid. I can understand the rationale behind playing it on fluid because it keeps you compressed. It makes it hard for people to dribble through you. But again, some of these teams, they're going to be launching attacks at you, and your boys are going to be hitting the ball out. When they hit the ball, it comes back at you. So you're not winning the second ball because you don't have AMs. You don't have anybody in the AM strata. So the ball keeps coming back at you. You keep being put under pressure. And eventually some of these good teams who have got great players off the ball, they're going to tear through you. And that's exactly what PSG did. So against Lyon, we decided to go with a 4-4-2 diamond, which I don't think you've tried with your team. And we had the players sorted, set up. We went with this starting 11 to see how we would do. We also applied some opposition instructions to my usual targets. And this system is not too unlike the system that you faced against PSG. Except PSG was playing with a 4-2-4. But here, what I noticed was this time you're winning the second balls, you're getting into very good positions, and your team was able to create goal-scoring opportunities. What was even more interesting was as the match progressed, you were creating a fair bit of chances in the opposition half. And this was something that I was pretty impressed with. It was a great start to the game, but there's still one area of concern in your tactic: the lack of a player who can dominate your own box. Now, whether you play the 4-4-2 DM narrow or you play a 4-4-2 diamond, doesn't matter. The moment you go defensive, you're going to give up your flanks. So you need somebody in the box, in your own box, who has got good jumping, reach and heading. And we quickly found that out after we conceded a goal. A few minutes later, in the 33rd minute, here you can see the ball is crossed and your players don't have that jumping reach or anticipation to win the ball in the air. Start of the second half, I call upon a player you have decided you want to transfer list. Yes, jumping reach very nice, heading very good. He's able to defend. He's definitely a player look, he actually won that tackle and launched a counter attack, which we went on to finish off. We scored the goal, and as a result, we are through to the next round of the cup competition. Well, I hope you found this show useful. Don't forget, there's a sequel to this show called In the Hot Seat for all those people who send the save games in for me to have a look. Now, if you want to be part of this channel, you can find out more information on how to find me on Twitter at Bustthenet or addictedtofm.com. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons for their continued support of this channel. You guys make these kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care and have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.